Okay guys, here we are of Decade Duels deck recipe. I'm re-recording this because of the fact that for some reason my Audacity was using a different mic for some reason. I think it might have been my webcam mic, I don't know. So, yeah. So the deck we're showing off today is Allied Justice. And if you don't know, this deck is a deck full of dark machines that allow you to deal with light monsters easily, and the two main decks that are light, well, there's three, but you usually see two, but I'll go over three. One is, in fact, Light Sworn, which they mill the deck and try to get JD out. That's basically their main goal. There's Fairies, which try to swarm the field, beat down, whatever. And there's Arcana Force, which I don't know too much about. All I know is they're coin flip ability monsters. But, you know, we'll get into that one of these days. But for now, I think I named all the good light-based stuff that people play other than Majin and ritual-based stuff. So, yeah, let's actually get into the deck recipe. Keep in mind, this deck fails when it comes to... Oh, it sometimes fails when it comes to dealing with lights when you have to deal with honest. But, you know, because we'll get into it a little bit, but yeah, honest really hurts this deck in some ways, so yeah. No further ado, let's actually get started. One Ally Salvo. This card isn't an Ally of Justice by name, but it basically has the same thing kind of effect. So yeah, it's crush cardable, and its ability is if it's destroyed by a light monster, and by battle of course, you can destroy 2 cards, which allows you to get rid of back row and whatever. Not too much to say about it. There's only one of these because this effect is situational, so. But there is a trap card to help it out, and the rest of this deck, so let's keep going, I guess. Allied Justice Cosmic Gateway. Even though you might look at it and say it's horrible attack for level 8, which I think it is, personally. Because Summon Skull has like 100 more attack, but that's besides the point. You special summon this when your opponent at least controls 1 light and another monster. So, nothing really special about it, but you can get this out really easily if your opponent has a light monster, so 2,400, you can't really complain about it. 2 Ally of Justice Cycle Reader is basically an upgraded version of DD Crow, but except for 1 card of anything of your choice. This only works on light monsters in the grave, so you discard it and you remove from play 2 light monsters. And you can activate this during either player's turn, so if your opponent decides to do Lumina to get something back, they decide to, what else is there? If they decide that they want to drop JD and you know they have 4 of the different name Light Sworn, get rid of 2 of them. Monster Reborn, get rid of light monsters that way. It's up to 2, so you don't have to get rid of both. Is there anything else I didn't mention? No, not really. No, there's really nothing. Also, it's crush cardable, and it's a tuner, so that's good. Oh yeah, just so you know, because I say it's crush cardable means I'm running crush card. I won't usually say it's crush cardable if I'm not running crush card. So anyways, we have 1, 2 Ally Justice Cyclone Creator. Even though his attack kind of stinks, even though it's a 3-star, He is in fact a machine tuner, and what you can do once per turn, you can discard any card, which we're playing Solidarity, so dumping anything machine-based is really good. Anyways, when you do that, you can return spells and traps equal to the number of tuners on the field. So what does that do for you? Allows you to get infinite swords, I think, right? It says anything on the field or just your opponent. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, anything on the field. And allows you to get rid of annoying back row cards like Messenger of Peace, Dimensional Fissure, Macrocosmos, or anything like that. So, yeah, that's pretty good. Nothing really to say about it. It's just machine tuner, and he's kind of like Trunade. So I don't need to run Trunade. 3 ally Justice Garda Hold, I think. And he gains 200 for battling light, 200 attack. And as I said, I don't really find it really great because of Honest. And there is a stronger version of this card, and it gains 700 when attacking light, but it is in fact a level 5 and 1900 attack, so it's not really all that great. I mean, 700, 2500 attack for a level 5, but you still have to attribute it, and a lot of things can just get over it, so no reason to play it over this card. 2 Ally Justice Nullifier allows you to get rid of stuff like Nova Summoners, Shining Angels. If you use the trap that I have in here, it gets rid of effects that are Marshmallons, Bear Reapers, whatever. Mystic Tomatoes. I don't know. I don't think it works like that, but you know, it's for you to try out. So yeah, 2 of them, 1600, pretty good, and it's a dark. 1 Ally Justice Omni Weapon. Usually I'm not a fan of running something like this, but as you can see, it says when it destroys a light monster by battle, and of course sends it to the grave. Most cards say that. You draw 1 card, and which is still good because you draw a card, and if it's level 4 or lower dark, you can reveal it and special summon it. This card actually sounds pretty good in most decks, but it really only helps if you're buying a light deck, so only 1, and plus drawing into this isn't really all that great. So basically it opens up the ability to summon Salvo, summon Cycle Reader, which gives you Stardust, get a Stardust, Red Dragon, or Thought Ruler, or I think there's a Ally Justice that's level 8. Get this one out. Nullifier is pretty good to get out, and this one is good at get out. Even this one is pretty good. Also, another good fact is you bring them out and you can attack with them too, so with whatever you bring out, so because it's still the battle phase. So yeah, that's pretty good. And even if you don't draw dark, like, you can still go +1, so it's not as good as Parshaft, but it will do. Only one of the Ally Justice quarantines because neither player can special summon lights, but the chances of you battling light monsters is really slim. But this does help against light sworns when they try to bring out JDs. Lumina can't use his effect, or effect, whatever. Wolf can't be special summoned. Nova Summoners prevented, so they can't bring out anything of Valhalla with Nova Summoners, Shining Angels, you know, all that good stuff. So this basically shuts down like a lot of decks. Of course, one problem with these cards is that you don't play enough light against enough light players, and of course there's Honest. There was one card Oh, yeah, I should talk about it. There's one card that actually made it a little better in this deck. Made this deck a little better. It's called Allied Justice Core Destroyer, which is like Catastor, but it's not in this game. And what it does is if it attacks a light monster, destroy it before the damage step. So, yeah. Sadly, it's not in the game, so this deck is kind of lacking a little bit of its superiorness. But, you know, it's not really that bad. When Ally Justice 1000 Arms, it's basically like Zora Priest, where you can attack everything once. Well, all light monsters, of course. And the downside is if it battles a non-light, it destroys itself before damage, so that's the reason why I'm not playing 2 or 3 of them, because he's not really that great if there's nothing on the field. So. Or he's not really that great if you're not battling a light deck. So, but there is something that helps him out though. 2 Ally Justice Unlimiter, and what he does is he basically you tribute this and double the attack points, or double the original attack of Ally Justice monster. So you can make this 34, 34, 44, 32, 32, and then this would get the 200 boost. 28, 2000, 2004, 4800, and this one doesn't count because it's not a Allied Justice card. So yeah, 2 of these, and they're crush cardable. Where was I? Oh, right. 1 Cyber Dragon. Now this is strange to see in here because it's not Allied Justice, but it is in fact a machine deck, so summoning this can help. If you have trouble getting go over Goyo and you have like 3 machines out, and you bring this out, you can make a Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon. Also, there's a card called Overload Fusion in here, which allows you to bring out Cyber Over Dragon, Chimera Tech Over Dragon, or something like that. So it's really good to have in here, and it gets over a lot of things if you just need the help. Also, because I play Solidarity, it gets a boost. Now this card is not a machine, even though our deck is full of darks, but this card is not a machine, so it doesn't get the boost of Solidarity. And you want to be careful about sending stuff like the Synchros and Dark Armed and Plague to the grave, because when they go to the grave, it blocks off your Solidarity boost. So if you need the Solidarity boost, try to be careful about getting this in the grave. I'm not saying there's no way of getting it out of the grave, it's just hard to do stuff when it's in the grave. So yeah, you need 3 darks in the grave, and you can banish 1 to destroy something on the field. Simple as that. It's one of your beast sticks too on the deck. 1 Plague Spreader. You know what it does. Basically in here for synchroing the McBrienac, Stardust, whatever. Also it's crush cardable. And the Big Saturn, which I really never knew until I saw a deck recipe based around Allied Justice. Of course, this deck isn't copied from something. I made this purely out of my own opinion, and it works pretty well. I haven't really used the Big Saturn though, so you could Monster Reborn this. You can't bring it from the hand or deck to the field by special summoning it though. So what it does is you discard a card and you pay 1,000 life points, and this card gains 1,000 attack. And if it's destroyed by by a card effect, you and your opponent take damage equal to its attack, kind of like Phantom Rock Lizard, where you do 2,000 damage to your opponent if they destroy it. So yeah, this card helps. This one and this one helps get out Dark Armed, because you can discard cards to get out Dark Armed. Also, this card can get to 3,800, so it's really good. Also, Solidarity boosts this up too. So, why not? I really never use this card, but I really recommend it. Let's see. Double Summon, which will easily bring out most of these, the make synchros, bring out the higher level guys, and yada yada. But you can summon twice basically with this, only for that turn though. Heavy Storm, get rid of back row. As I said, we have these two as Trunade, so we don't really need to run Trunade, but Heavy Storm be a little better. Limiter removal, basically doubles all machines' attacks, and during end phase, they get destroyed. Which is not a bad thing because of the card that I have two after this. So, Monster Reborn, just reborn something that you want back. You destroy a spell or a trap. Now Overload Fusion, what you could do is you can do limiter removal or whatever, go through this whole entire deck, going through machines and whatever. And if you need that extra push, this card's there. You basically remove from play from your side of the field in Grave, and you bring out a Dark Machine type, which we all know from seeing this is Chimera Tech Overdragon. The reason I don't play Future Fusion is because it's too slow. It won't work in this deck too much. Well, it could, but it's too slow if I don't draw into it the first turn. And I didn't want the deck to focus around Chimera Tech Overdragon, so yeah. I guess you guys understand. It's for the big pushes, which you can get to like pretty high attack. Was it 800 per monster? Yeah, 800 per monster. So that is one. Well, there's two non-machines. So 18 times 800. That would be 4,800, right? No, 6,400. Yeah, that sounds right. Anyways, yeah. Or something like that. You guys can do the math. But yeah, that's how that works. You basically use this to make a big push. Like if you're using aliens, worms, or whatever for Evil Dragon and Nada. Avarice, return 5, draw 2. Mostly target your Synchros and your Plague Spreader and Dark Arm, so you can get Solidarity back and running. But if you don't want to, then return like whatever you feel like you need out of the Allied Justice cards. So, but I prefer bringing back Synchros and Dark Armed and Plague, you know. 2 Solidarities, original printed, gain 800, as I said. Dark Armed and Plague Spreader, and most of the stuff in the extra deck does not get the boost, so. But in the extra deck, I mean. But everything else gets like boost, like let's see, per thing it's 800, 1600. You can imagine how high these monsters will get. Yep. You can imagine. Alright, so 1 swords. This helps out because of the card over here, DNA Transplant. You flip them over and use DNA Transplant to make it so they're light, and you get some of these effects that go off, so it's pretty good. Let's see. What's next? 2 Compulse. Just return something back to the hand. Really nothing you want to return back to your hand in your deck. Once it's on the field, it should be fine on the field. But you never know. Oh, right. In Pot of Avarice, you can return this card back to your deck, and if you draw into it, it'll act like more DD Crow against Light Sworns, which is really good. I mean, you know how it is against Light Sworn if they get like a bunch of monsters in the grave. Oh yeah, but to make sure you hit stuff that don't have the same name. Like if they have Lumina, Wolf, Garoth, and Lila, you want to hit Lumina and Garoth, which will still leave them with 3, but you don't want to hit Lumina and Lumina, which, if you did that, would make it only 1 monster till they get JD. Just so you know. If you didn't know how to fight against Lightsworn. Yeah. 1 crush card, as I said, here's the other form. 1 crush card, which a total of 9 cards I counted out. If you don't believe me, 1, 3, which one was it? 3, 5, 6, 1, 3, 5, okay, apparently 6, okay, whatever. But 6 crush card targets is really a lot. So you want to keep, oh yeah, something to keep in mind before, let's go over this card for a second. So this card allows you to change the attribute of a monster. So you need to change everything to light for this deck for the deck to run at its best. Trust me, if you don't do it, you're not missing out. But if you don't do it, your deck is gonna be a little underpowered. Especially since this gains 200 battling lights. This card destroys itself for not battling lights. You don't get this card's effect for not battling a light. Well, I'm not gonna keep saying you can't special summon this, whatever. And you don't get this effect, so yeah. You know, it's very good to keep in mind about that. If you don't switch them back to, if you don't switch everything to light. Reasons you never see me play this is because it's a continuous trap though. Also keep in mind, if you activate this, Crush card will be no good to you. Because if you use this, Crush card will be shut down. Because everything will be light, and anything that was dark is now light. So things like this wouldn't work, this wouldn't work, because they're all light now. So if you want to get both of these, you might as well use Crush card while you can, and then DNA Transplant. And yes, you should run Crush card in this because it takes out those big monsters that you can't take out otherwise. And you need to run DNA Transplant. There's no way of getting past that. Okay, 2 Dark Bribes, basically to block your opponent from heavy storming, pretty much. And then use it for whatever else. The one things you need to keep in mind is your opponent will usually be playing Heavy Storm, True Nade, and Mystical Space Typhoon. If you can get past all 3, at least they'll be running Heavy Storm and Mystical Space. If you get past both of those, you're pretty much scot-free. Like, you don't need to negate anything like that anymore for protecting your back row. Because if this is face up, Solemn can't stop it, only Royal Decree actually, but not a lot of people play it. Unless they're playing OTK based stuff. So yeah, you want to try to block Heavy Storm, Mystical Space, and True Nade. Cold Wave does not really do too much to you though, even though that's what you'll see in Lightsworn. Kinda. 2-dimensional Prison, since your monsters kind of lack attack, you can protect them with this. And 1 Mirror Force. So that's the deck, and let's go into the extra deck. 1 Chimera Tech, Fortress Dragon. Since we're playing Cyber Dragon, everything in the deck's machine, you get at least 5,000 attack if you wanted to. Chimera Tech Over Dragon gains 800. Keep in mind you'll lose every card on your field if you bring this out, so be careful before you evade it. So if you have like DNA Transplant and you want to keep DNA Transplant, then you don't want to bring this out because you'll lose DNA Transplant as soon as this comes out. Let's see. Let's go over the ones that aren't Allied Justice real quick. So we have Army Arm, 1 Black Rose, Bionic, Colossal. We run enough Darks, so Dark End, and Goyo, Mistworm, Red, and Stardust. So Catastor is if it battles any attribute that's not dark, it destroys it automatically. Of course, Stardust can negate this, if anyone's curious. 1 ally Justice Decisive Armor, and your opponent must control light for it to activate one of these effects. 1, select one set, which is basically monster or spell and trap, and destroy it. Remember, once per turn, not every turn, you get to activate all these effects. Yeah. I don't know if you need more explaining of what I just said. One turn, let's say you're on turn 3, you have this out, you can't activate all effects, you get one of these effects. Then next turn, when it's your turn again, you get to use one of these effects again. That's basically what I'm saying. So let's see. Send 1 card from your hand to the grave to destroy all spells and traps your opponent controls, which is pretty good. And the main big stick one, if you're battling Lightsworn, which is really good, is send all cards in your hand to the grave, look at your opponent's hand, and send all lights to the graveyard. So if you, and they take damage equal to the total attack. So if you know they have like JD and Celestias or something, you make them discard their hand and it'll take like 3000 damage. Really good. Also, this card gets over pretty much every monster in the game other than 5-headed. Do I recommend use it? The only problem with it is it's level 10 and you rarely bring this out. I mean, I've seen synchro decks that bring it out quickly, but you rarely bring this one out. 1 Allied Justice Field Marshal, you can't special summon it anyway except for synchro. And this destroys a face down defense. You can draw a card, which is really good. It's always good to draw a card. Well, not always. Depends on the situation. 1 Allied Justice Light Gazer. If you're buying Lightsworn, this card gets ridiculously overpowered. Oh, that's the other light deck. I totally forgot about that one. The Gradius deck, whatever. I don't know what it's called. Yeah, that's the other light deck I forgot about. People don't really play it, but it is a deck that you should watch out for. Especially since they run Honest and Limiter removal. If you run into them, just do a Cyber Dragon and just fuse them all together, make Chimera Tech Fortress, and that should take care of them. So, yeah. But this card will gain attack points equal to that though. Also, what was it? This card prevents, where is it? This card also prevents Gradius summons and whatever, because they use Shining Angels. Alright, for the side deck, we have 2 Allied Justice Rudra, which is the level 5 1900 attack. As I said, I don't find him really great, so he's in the side deck if you need him for whatever reason. And he gains 700 if he battles a dark, or light, my bad. So yeah, you can see why he's in the side deck and not the main deck. 2 Allied Justice Unknown Crusher. Basically, when he destroys, or when he battles a light monster, you banish it. When after, it's kind of like DD Warrior Lady and yada yada things. But since he's 1200 and it must require you to battle light, it's not always good. But if you're battling Lightsworn, it could be pretty good because you can banish all the Lightsworns that you're battling. I don't know, just really situational. So there's 2. Lord of Darkness, draw 2 cards, banish a dark. Pretty much everything in the deck is dark except for Cyber Dragon. Card destruction, just more draw power. You don't really care about discarding because solidarities. Fissure, destroy something if you need more destruction. This is your card to go to. Kinda. There's 3 of them in here. Future Fusion, if you want to go with the Overload Fusion combo, you can use this. I've gone over Future Fusion, I think, so yeah. Hand Destruction for more draw power. Lightning Vortex, discard and destroy a bunch. Maybe just discard a machine and you get more attack for solidarity, or discard Plague Spreader and do some shenanigans with that. Also helps out with getting Dark Armed. Smashing Ground, get rid of something. DNA Transplant if you need a third one. And return from a different dimension from the capability of using Overload, wherever that was. Overload Fusion right here. And using Dark Armed. Return from the different dimension helps you out so much. You're basically paying half your life points, special summon, a bunch of stuff. So you can use like Overload, and then this card will get rid of everything that on your side of the field, and then you can bring back a bunch of random stuff. So if you're going to use this for whatever reason, you might as well throw these two in there. Possibly because of the fact that they're more attack. Maybe you want some of these because their effect is a little better. I don't know. Maybe you just want to synchro off, and these two aren't tuners, so you can bring back like, I don't know, whatever you feel like. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the deck recipe of Allied Justice. I hope you guys really enjoyed the deck recipe. Go ahead and leave your comments in the section down below and tell me what you think of this deck. My thoughts about the deck: it's not really the greatest because if you don't draw into, if you don't draw into DNA Transplant, then your deck is kind of slowing you down a little bit. Not too much, but just a little bit. I mean, it can run against decks that aren't light, but you know, you have to draw into the right thing. So, but against light decks, it really helps out though. So I give this deck a 7 out of 7.5, 7.5, 8 out of 10. Because pretty much without the Core Destroyer, this is pretty much one of the best ways to make the deck. If you think it could be a little better, you can leave your comments in the section down below. You don't really have to tell me how, but you know, it is there. And just so you guys know, I'm not going to use Earth Shaker, Dark Strike, and Horn Needle, because those cards are glitched. Except for Dark Strike. Dark Strike's just really broken. Just how you guys might want to know. I know my friend Ravnal said that if I use Earthshaker, I'll be interested in it forever. But no, I'm not gonna really use it unless I really need to. So yeah. Yep. So yeah, tell me what you think in the comment section down below. This is for my buddy, I think his name was Paul or something, I don't know. I'm sorry that I don't remember names. I don't get paid to remember names. Just kidding, I don't get paid at all. But yeah. I don't make these to remember names, just kidding. So yeah, this is for the guy who requested Allied Justice, and I really hope you like the deck. I know you're struggling to get cards like everyone else, but you know, you have something to look forward to, I guess. And remember, this deck is a little off because there's no Core Destroyer, but it's still really good. So yeah, I'll catch you guys next time. The next episode of Dragon Ball Z. Just kidding. But this is Dragox55 signing out.